Welcome back to Behind the Vocals. This week we are joined by the one and only Jake Wolf of Reflections. It's an amazing episode where we talk about all things from tour stories, vocals, lyrics, favorite shows, the recent tour he just got off of, and much, much more. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, we are joined by the one and only Mr. Jake Wolf of Reflections. Sir, how are you doing? How's it going?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you.
To talk about some vocals.
Dude, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to chat with you. I know... things have been a little rough for you lately. You haven't been feeling good. That post-tour itis or whatever it is, we don't know.
Tour flu.
Tour flu. Dude, how often does that happen? I mean, I imagine it happens a lot. Sickness on tour is common.
Yeah, sickness on tour. You see it. I'd say almost every tour that I've been on, there winds up being the tour flu.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a degree of who gets it more than others, and I think a lot of times it gets vocalists pretty bad because you're putting a mic in other people's hands and mouths and bringing it back and talking to people at the merch table all the time. So it's just, lots of hugs and handshakes. It's inevitable.
It's brutal. And of course it really affects us because any kind of sickness or cold or head sinus, whatever. I mean, vocals are sensitive, man. It's we picked a rough gig.
Yes. It's very true.
Lots of variables that can like mess up everything or affect your performance. It's pretty brutal.
Yep, I've learned that the hard way plenty of times.
So how was the tour? How did everything go?
It was very cool. I mean, we did some of our last tours with Invent Animate, and they did some of their first tours with us. So it was really cool being able to like meet back up with them and spend time with all those guys again, see a bunch of old friends. So that part of it for me was really, really great. And yeah, I mean, touring is very fun and very fulfilling, having that time with the people that listen to your music in a live environment. So
absolutely. Invent Animate is an amazing band. I love them. Had Marcus on the show. Great dude. Super knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah.
He dropped all kinds of knowledge on me.
He's next level. Honestly, I didn't get to talk to him a ton on the tour because he is very busy with the stuff that he's doing. But just getting a little bit of insight onto the stuff that goes on with his vocals and all the stuff that he does to get everything prepared. And I thought that was very impressive.
Yeah.
So makes me kind of want to make sure that I can, again, like we were kind of talking about before, just leveling up and learning more so you can do things yourself,
Dude, I nerd out on this stuff. I've always been like a band nerd. I love like the behind the scenes, the documentaries, like the old school DVDs they used to bring out, like the Black Dahlia Murders and the Kill Switch Engages and Lamb of Gods, all that stuff. I've always loved that stuff, so this is something that's like up my alley anyways. Like if I wasn't hosting the show, I would 100% be watching it weekly and just hearing the things, because how you get to where you need to be to perform is different than Marcus, is different than, whoever. And I love hearing like the tips and tricks and like you said, leveling up, because I mean, there's things I've applied to myself from the show. I'm like, I want to try that. That's a really cool idea. I'm like, oh shit, that works. That's great.
Yep. Yeah.
The vocal mist. I'd heard it a bunch, and Marcus like kind of hammered it home for me. I was like, all right, I'm trying this.
Yeah, they actually gave me something. It's like this little face mask thing, and that really helped my throat out a ton.
Yeah,
I was having some just coughing a ton, and yeah, that really helped. Garrett from Silent Planet gave me some decongestant stuff, but it was like just one part of it instead of all the other stuff. It's like Guadafed or something like that. I can't even remember, but that helped too. So yeah, they got all these little tricks for keeping in tip-top shape live.
It's crazy how far it's come, because none of this stuff was a thing like 10-15 years ago. Like,
no, it's raw dogging it.
Yeah, dude, people just shut up and you just screamed and you hope for the best. Like that was about it.
Yep.
It's come so far. Well, what a sick tour that is. Silent Planet and Invent, you guys, and man, that's...
Yeah, From Joint, Soulkeeper on it too, and they're really great. I wish they were both on it the whole time. They kind of did the half and half.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of just really great people on the tour.
Oh man, it's such a sick lineup. I'm sad I didn't get to see it. That's a stacked lineup for sure. If
you like metalcore, yep.
Oh yeah, 100%. What I like to do to start the episode is just kind of give you a floor, let you introduce yourself, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Word. My name is Jake. I do vocals for Reflections. I also help write a lot of the music. I have other music stuff that I do too, ranging from like more heavy deathcore stuff to kind of ambient music. So outside of that, I spend a lot of time just with my little family at home, and also do some stock stuff.
Nice. Man of many talents. Stocks, deathcore, metalcore.
I'm like pretty good at being mediocre at a lot of things.
Jack of all trades, master none kind of thing.
There we go.
Okay, so how long have you been doing vocals?
2010. So like 15 years.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's wild to think about, like to think about the journey, man.
Yeah. No, actually just remembering beginning that and just everything that's come from that's pretty crazy.
And Reflections has been around since 2010?
Yeah, we really started in like 2012, but the MySpace page was created in 2010.
Dude, God, we were talking about this before. God, I miss the MySpace days. I really do.
I do too, man. I think it was much more personal and allowed for organic networking instead of algorithm-driven stuff. So
I wonder how MySpace would do nowadays. If someone did somehow bring that back, I wonder how it would go. Like if it would be popular, if it would just be flash in the pan for like a month and then nobody cares.
Yeah, it would. I think it would really depend on if it kept that honest framework that it had before, or if they like kind of redid everything to just be another TikTok or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Because if it was like it was before, then, you know, to a lot of people, they might be like, what the hell is this? I can't scroll videos on here, you know? But like, I don't know. It's just a different generation's appreciation, I guess.
Man, I wish I had access. I know there's some way to get to the old.
Dude, I've tried going on there. It's a disaster.
Yeah, if I could access it, I would love to go back and just like trip down memory lane and check out all the stuff.
Right, dude. Yep.
All the messages, all the like. I don't even know who my old band's top 8 would have been. Like I don't remember.
Right. Yeah, I don't even remember, dude.
Tom had to be on there though, right? At some point.
Oh, he was number 1 always. Yep.
Good times. So what got you into wanting to be a vocalist?
The MySpace deathcore era, like, because before that I played drums, and I love drumming. I play drums more than I do vocals. But when I found like the Suicide Silence, the Family Guy EP with all the quotes and all the songs, and I think that was it was right after they had re-recorded some of them with Mitch, because Tanner was the vocalist before. And when I saw those live videos of them back in the day, I was like, wow, that dude sounds so sick. You know, I wonder if I could do that too. Because I always also, along with drumming, I'd always, even since like elementary school, I had written poetry. So I was like kind of applying poetry into metal however I could. So
nice.
That's what started it for me.
Sick. And shout out to Mitch, man. What a complete package as a vocalist. Dude was a ominous front man. He just had that presence, and then of course vocally, man. We were talking about his highs and stuff. Just he was so good. He was so many steps above people at the time. Like just how he had it.
He was paving the way.
Yeah. Yep. He was 100%. So drums. You play drums. How long have you been playing those?
I've been playing drums probably about 20 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
You play any other instruments or just drums and vocals?
I mean, I can't read or write music, but I play guitar and I play piano. Obviously the guitar applies to bass as well. Because I do a lot of the writing and recording for stuff that like Surgeon or Reflections does, even though with Reflections, if I do generally write guitars or record guitars for it, I want someone to retrack it because they're a much better guitarist than I am. I can get the idea down a lot of times, and for Surgeon or something, I'll let it pass. But for Reflections, I usually want it to go through more vetted hands, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Do a little bit of everything. Awesome. So I love asking this. It's pretty similar, especially vocalists have been doing this for a while and have been around like yourself. But how did you learn how to do vocals? Because when we started, there was not the wealth of knowledge that there is now. You know, there's not the YouTube videos and the vocal academies. I mean, Zenna Screaming, I wish I knew the exact date when that came out, but I want to say it was a little before 2010, probably.
The Zen of Screaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't even find out about that until years after it had come out.
Same.
And that was per someone's recommendation. Yeah, for starting out, I literally remember like the first few times trying to scream, just screaming in a pillow, you know, like seeing what noises were going to come out. And I remember just when I would be like walking somewhere in public and I didn't feel like there were a ton of people around, I would try doing a low vocal because I think wasn't the Somatic Defilement came out around that time too. Yeah. So I was, you know, listening to Mitch and Phil. I was just like, how the and oh man, Nailed Dead Risen by Impending Doom. Like I was just listening to all these guys doing these vocals, and I was like, how are they doing this? And just literally just trying to figure it out whenever I felt like I had alone time. And kind of when we recorded our first record, I was doing vocals for the first time kind of on that. That was my first time ever recording myself doing vocals, so it's pretty wild.
How was that? Learning, definitely a learning experience, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it was crazy because I'm sitting here like not really knowing what I'm doing, and we're trying to record this album, and every time we're trying to record, people are like, what the hell is going on in there? Because we're in an apartment, and like, you know, so I'm like, fuck, like, yeah, it was just wild, and a lot of people hated it. I mean, in hindsight, I don't like it really, but I mean, that's just how it goes. So
yeah, you evolve as a musician, and I mean, I don't really know any vocalists that just pick it up like immediately, like screaming, because it is definitely what we're doing is not it's not natural to be yelling that much that long, like
right. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
But I mean, it takes getting used to, because there's a lot of technique to it, like whether or not you know the technique, like some people just figure it out,
right,
and they have no clue what they're doing, but they're like, it works, I can do it each night, I'm good.
Yeah, I've seriously wondered if like some sort of anatomy plays into that with different people, and just being able to have access to different registers of their body, because like, you know, for example, you look at someone like Alex Terrible, who just literally has these like monstrous sounding lows, and it's like, I can't do that. Like, you know, I just literally, I can't do it. And that's fine. That's what makes everything so unique and 100%. So cool. But that, again, it just makes me think, like, you know, because I sit here and like, I think the most dynamics I have with my vocal range is getting to a high vocal, because I think I can push my voice much higher than I can push it low. So it just makes me wonder, like, what makes different people able to do that, and that probably falls into like the different vocal ranges that they have in choirs. I can't remember what they're all called, but, you know, just kind of that stuff and how that plays into it too. It's just very interesting.
I just love, like, kind of like we're talking about how everybody gets to certain points. Like, I've talked to people like Andy from Plea for Persian and stuff, and he read the questionnaire and he was just like, brother, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know half of this stuff. I can't give you a reason why half of this stuff works and what I do. He was like, I just got up there every night and I yelled and it worked each night. I don't know. Yeah. I was like, well, you clearly there's something you're doing correct technique, that you're not blowing your voice out, because I mean, they played, you know, 200 plus nights a year or whatever back in their heyday. Yeah. So it's really cool to see like how it works. And there is a lot of like people that did vocals back then were like, I have no clue. I don't know. I just know it worked. Like, the first week was brutal on tour, which is like a consensus for everybody. The first week is usually like kind of roughest, like getting their voice, I guess, warmed up. And then after that, it's off to the races. Like, everybody's good.
Yep. I can agree with that. That usually towards midway to the end of a tour, you're like, I could do this every day.
Yeah. And there's like no warm-ups or nothing usually for people. They're just like, I'm good to go. Like, I know it's going to work every night, and we just go.
I have to do warm-ups, but I've seen plenty of people bypass that and do just fine. So again, I think that just plays into what you wound up learning how to do and what your body's capable of doing.
I did warm-ups way back in the day. I would slack sometimes depending on what was going on. But now that I've gotten older, dude, anytime I'm doing vocals, it's 100% warm-ups. Like, there is no way around it. I'm like, I have to warm up.
Stretch.
Yeah, I have to get ready for this. Okay, so Screaming in a Pillow, what were some early mistakes you made? That's a great transition right there. What were some early mistakes you made whenever you were learning to do vocals?
Dude, just pushing from the wrong place. Even on honestly, if you're like, sometimes, so like when, for example, like when we were recording in the apartment and I was trying to be volume conscious,
Yeah.
I would try and like restrict my voice a little bit, and I'd notice that would hurt it.
Yeah.
You know, not letting yourself just kind of fully let it out and like trying to hold back. So, you know, just making sure what you're doing feels natural. But I still make mistakes, even live, because when we play live, I think it's also just because our kind of music calls for it. I'll get really worked up and be running around, jumping around, just getting super gassed, and trying to do things that normally I'm very stationary and have my breath for. And, you know, when you start doing that, you'll push too hard, do something a little too loud, and then you start paying for it because you can't stop because you're playing live. So you got to keep going. And by the end of that night, you're like, oh, my voice is fried.
Yeah.
You know, so having something like that happen and not doing vocal rest afterwards is a mistake that I've made. Vocal rest is super important. So, yeah, I'd say those early mistakes were just figuring out how to scream and figuring out how to approach live situations, because it's different than sitting down and working in a studio.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
30 nonstop minutes usually, at least. So
yeah, it's the conditioning is, especially like you said, when you're active on stage and you're moving around and you're like engaging and you're into it,
jumping.
Yeah, it's a lot of air being expelled and a lot of energy, and it's exhausting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Usually before we tour, I'll spend a month or two literally kind of rehearsing our set down in my basement like I'm playing a live show, and that helps a lot.
Yeah,
because then you're actually like working on getting yourself tired and performing. The only real difference that you don't have in that scenario is the temperature.
Yeah.
Some of the venues just get mad hot and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'll never understand. I guess it's the lights and like all the stuff up there, but the temperature,
bodies.
It could be like negative degrees outside and you get up there and you're just like dying. It's so hot.
Yep.
We used to do something like that. We would do like the first run through of our set would be like just kind of like everybody kind of warming up, just run through it. No stage presence, just going through the motions. And then like the next several run throughs would be like, all right, full send it. Everybody get it, like show ready. Like try to get the bang over, like already worked through, like all the good stuff you got to do.
Bang over. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to pivot a little bit. I like to ask this question. You kind of talked about jumping and running around stage. What do you think is harder, being a frontman or being a vocalist? Because there is like a difference between them. You know, the frontman, maybe technically they can't do like the full ranges, right? They can't. They're limited to what they can do vocally, but they can command a crowd from the opening note till the set's over. They have the crowd in the palm of their hand. And then there's vocalists that maybe don't command as well, but they can do anything and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have to go. For me personally, it's much easier to be a frontman than a vocalist, because I think that I'm more restricted on the vocals that I can do. Like I can't like do all those super crazy guttural lows or stuff like that. So for me, I focus much more on engaging, on being present, on being like in that energy that the music is producing. As where you might find some bands where their music doesn't necessarily call for that, you know, like maybe a more tech death band that's just like really driving forward the whole time, you know, and you know that person really needs to just stand there and fucking focus on their air and all that stuff. And I understand both sides of that, so I think that's a double-sided coin, and it really just calls for the moment. But I will say, like, you know, if your band requires you to be a front man and you don't got it, that's an issue.
Yeah, and not everybody has that like charisma, I guess it is, or something like that presence to be able to like kind of, we're talking about like Mitch and stuff, like certain people have like that it factor. I don't know exactly what it is, but they just come on stage and you're like, okay, you have my full attention. Like they just, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me anyway, I think I've never really had a problem with like public speaking or anything like that. I don't know if it's a lack of regard. Like I'm just not really affected by that. So I think if you have any tendency to be like, oh shit, I got eyes on me, you know, might not be your favorite thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So when you were learning, and I'm gonna go back to Screaming in the Pillow, because that is the first. I like that though. That's a good way to learn. Like it's a good way to like muffle it and like.
Oh, Screaming in the Pillow.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I never even thought to do that. That's really smart.
Yep.
But what was there an aha moment where everything kind of clicked and you're like, oh, this makes sense. Like I understand what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I do remember when I figured out like the range for the highs was more of a nasal thing,
Mm-hmm.
like registry up here, and just kind of figuring out that it wasn't necessarily like actual screaming, but more so like just kind of yelling with distortion. I will say that like the mid vocals that I do are almost like a literal scream for me. And then with the lows, realizing that again was just coming from a different place, and like I started putting my tongue up towards the roof of my mouth, and that
Mm-hmm.
completely lowered my vocal register, and it was like, oh shit, like yeah, I remember a lot of that stuff happening. So
Nice.
that was fun.
And I really dig your highs, by the way. We were talking about this before we started recording. You remind me of, listen to it, Beneath the Sky, which is like an old, if somebody out there listening, I'm sure knows what I'm talking about, but it's like an older 27, 28, like 2008, 2009, 10, whatever, metalcore band, and just that like higher piercing high. I've always been a big fan of those, so I love those highs.
Sick. Yeah, I felt like that was like we were talking about like how different things were back in the day too. Like I think like that was like a thing. It's like I almost liked playing like a venue with a bad PA, because if you did those highs, it would just distort them super
Yeah.
bad, and it was like, yeah,
Man, good times
sounded
back then.
sick. Yep.
Okay, sweet. So you talked about your routine. You have to warm up. What is your vocal routine to get ready for a show, and does it change depending on different variables, like you're sick or you're on tour, or it's a one-off show like a fest, or just just a one-off whatever, or even in the studio?
When I'm recording vocals, I'll approach it a lot differently. I'll do warm-ups, not as much, honestly, because I kind of like some of the raw, like just kind of breaking through sounding vocals. You get like extra crisp and like stuff like that. And I'm not having to do it so consistently. I can spread it out through a day because I usually record myself. But for live, I honestly lean a lot on those Melissa Cross warm-ups. That helped me a ton. I started doing those when we were recording our second album, because I had my first real studio experience where they're like, all right, you're going to record 6 hours a day. And I'm like, what? And I was not ready for that. And I blew my voice out after like a song and a half. And he's like, telling me I'm an amateur. And I'm like, well, you're not wrong. But so yeah, they pointed me in the Melissa Cross stuff. And that just made a huge difference for me live and recording. And so if you haven't checked those out, I definitely recommend that. I don't think I do all of them. I do like the one where she's telling you to kind of buzz your teeth, and just like rolling the notes up and down. I can't remember, what she called them, but that stuff actually works, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because, for me anyway, like I was saying, my mid vocal, which I did primarily a lot in our old music, I'm just screaming a ton, and my voice would get super gassed from that. And after I did those warm-ups, I would realize like, hey, I'm halfway through a tour and I don't have the vocal rest. I can go to merch and talk to people, and so stuff helps a lot depending on, again, what your body is conditioned for.
Yeah. Did the first time you watched it, did it make sense to you, or were you just like, what the hell is she talking about?
I guess I appreciated it the first time I watched it. I definitely felt a little silly doing some of it.
Yeah.
But
the face stretches and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, what am I, is this,
I would always walk away from the band. I'm like, no, just leave me alone for a little while. You don't need to see this.
I'm going to go in this room over here. Yeah, literally. But then when you start seeing the effects of it, you're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Like whatever, dude. So
I remember the first time kind of like you, someone put me onto it. They recommended it, like, check this out. This is really cool. You do vocals, whatever. And I was like, sweet. So I checked it out. And first time I watched it, I was like, I don't really know anything you're talking about. Like, I get what we're trying to get to, but like, I don't understand how this is going to affect like anything. And then we were practicing, and I guess it's my aha moment, but like, I remember middle of the set, and I was just like, the pencil trick popped into my head about like projecting over the pencil. And so I was like, whatever. This song, I'm gonna project over the pencil. And then I was like, oh, that's what she means. I was like, okay, like light bulb. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'm doing all the stuff now, like warm ups. She knows what she's talking about.
Right. Yeah. And if you really want to think about it, if you're trying to take what you're doing seriously, there's no reason not to do that.
Yeah. And her warm ups are still part of my warm ups. Like what is it? The Z's and the there's a whole bunch. It's like what, 10 or 12 like on the,
Yeah, there's a few of them.
you can
Yeah.
do like the scales and stuff. But I've also implemented, have you ever done like the straw in like water? Where like,
I've heard of that, and now I can't remember it really.
it's like a, kind of like a kind of thing, but you're blowing through the straw and it like,
Right.
yeah, it works. Like it helps. I've added
Okay.
that as part of my thing. And then the vocal mist stuff.
The vocal mist. I've heard of that too, but I don't think I've used it.
Well, I think that's what
Is that
yeah.
Oh, that's the
So it's
mask
just
thing.
like,
Got
you know, like the Vicks vapor things.
yeah,
That's
what
all
it
it
is.
pretty
Yeah.
much is. It's just
Yep.
like, and then that's all I use. Like I know there's like brands out there with like their own saline or whatever they
Sure.
use, but like, yeah, you just put like that and it's just that warm steam, essentially like moisturizing your
Made
throat.
such a difference.
It's yeah, it's big. It's super helpful. Okay, vocal care. What do you do for vocal care?
Water.
Hydration.
Top thing is water, and like honestly, like for me anyway, I can't speak for everybody, but like the throat coat tea, like that dries the shit out of my throat for me.
Okay.
It does not work for me. Water, maybe some honey, and then just not talking.
Vocal rest. Very important.
Yep. And that's honestly all I really got for you. Maybe a warm shower and let that shit just like hit your throat.
Yeah.
Like if you're feeling rawed up, like I don't know, literally. And that mask thing, the vocal mist, that helped a ton.
Yeah. That's nice. Okay.
And I would also say what you should, because I'm bad at this, so don't be like me. Continue practicing. Like I'll go long periods of time without doing vocals because I do like work on the music too. I'll get really, really lost just working on the music for months and months at a time, and I won't do any vocals. And I think that's detrimental I think that's setting me back as a vocalist, because it's like when I pick that back up again, I'm not only starting where I had left off, but maybe even a few steps back from there, you know.
Okay.
So I think continuing to practice what you're doing is important because that allows consistent development. So
Absolutely.
but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I definitely think there's, I mean, it's same as like if you play any instrument, if you put it down for a while, what are the chances you're going to come back better?
Yeah, I mean, so that's a weird thing that you said that, because I do think time away from something is good because it lets you miss it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of creates that excitement and desire to come back to it. But to your point, yeah, too much time away, you start becoming distant, and almost it becomes an anxiety thing to come back to something because you're like, shit, I haven't done this in so long. Am I even good at this anymore? It's like you don't want to be thinking that stuff. You want to be confident about what you're doing.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to shift gears a little bit. Lyrics. Fun stuff. Where do you pull from for lyrics? Do you go more of a personal route? Do you do conceptual? Do you kind of mix them together? Like what's your go-to?
My lyrics are all super personal and just about my personal life, for Reflections anyway. I've always just kind of written our lyrics as like a diary almost, because like I had mentioned before, I was always really into poetry, because I just found that to be one of the only ways of self-expression that I had at the time. And yeah, when I was able to start putting that into music, it was just super great. And then being able to do that live and being able to get that release of these super personal things, and then having people relate to that and connect with that and appreciate someone's willingness to talk about some of those things, because I think a lot of the lyrics I have are kind of metaphorical, so for people to understand what some of that stuff is allows me to know that they do kind of have a similar headspace or maybe familiar experiences along the lines that I've had. So yeah, for me, lyrics are all super personal, and I think that's why it's so hard for me to write lyrics sometimes, because like when we have an album come out, I'll like basically dump years of my life into writing lyrics for it. So when someone or people, especially nowadays, they want new music constantly.
Yes.
And as a vocalist dash lyricist, I need time to like experience life and have life happen more to allow me to have stuff to write. Because for me personally, if I'm going to write music about something that I'm not actually interested in, or that doesn't really mean something to me, then when I perform live, I'm not going to be able to exert that energy that I would if I'm talking about something that means a lot to me. And obviously there's bands that completely are the opposite and have themed lyrics and stuff like that. And you know, I think that's fucking awesome, because again, that's just what makes everyone different and unique. And they might really like that stuff. So, but for me, it's all super personal.
Love it, love it. And I guess it's kind of cool for you also to look back at like your discography, and you can kind of like see the chapters of your life, like the different things that have happened, and all that.
It is interesting to be able to do that.
Absolutely. I tend to go more personal myself, and to me, it just, I don't know, it's therapeutic. You know, you like you said, you can touch people. Obviously, like the conceptual stuff too. Like people can take your lyrics however they want to take them. Like it could be conceptual, and someone may find something in there that they relate to. I feel like it's a little easier with the personal things because people can relate to, you know, tragedy and loss and like whatever, you know, or good times, anything. Like you can usually find some shape of yourself in that. And I've always kind of gravitated towards that myself.
I've always found it very hard to write positive lyrics. And I know that sounds super doom and gloomy. And I don't mean it to, but like I have literally always struggled to write things that are like overwhelmingly positive or happy themed, you know, because I do think a lot of art comes from a dark place, whether that's like music or painting, writing. I just think in general, art tends to come from a place of grief or despair, or moments where those feelings are somewhat overwhelming.
Yeah. And screaming, like I've done like our old band, we did like, we tried to make everything as positive as possible. Like, you know, cause you don't know who's in the crowd and like applying to like more broader audience. But now the older I got, I'm just like, I want to talk about what I want to talk about. Like, you know, the bad things that have happened. Like I want to vent them and get that out there.
I honestly think in doing that, that is the more positive thing to do, because like I tried writing happy stuff on our second album, happy in my sense. And whenever like we played some stuff live, and it was like, I just feel like I'm lying to myself when I'm doing this, you know, and because it wasn't cathartic pretending to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, it was cathartic letting out what I needed to let out. And then I think other people, to your comment of like, you know, other people in the crowd that may have felt similarly, where you might think, hey, this person needs something positive to listen to, not something that's all dark and angry. Yeah. It's like, well, by them being in this environment where that was acceptable to let that out, they can leave this room now and leave those emotions behind.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And it also, like, to me, like, it never, if you're like screaming about being in love or something, that's probably a terrible analogy because I don't know what bands usually scream about being in love. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to scream. Yeah. That's not really like a thing. Or, you know, it's kind of like if you're really pissed off about something and something that happened, you're not going to have like a pretty singing part for that. You want to yell it and be pissed off about it. So to me, it just kind of feels more natural to be screaming about something that, you know, you're angry about.
Right. Yep. I agree 100%.
Okay. So do you have a favorite lyricist or someone you look up to? You appreciate their work? As someone that's done poetry, I'm really curious to see. And it can be any genre or any, you know, it can be whatever. It doesn't matter.
I can't think of a single person off the top of my head where I've been very attached to their writing. So actually, no, I don't think I have a good answer to that question.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Okay. So then this next one's about to suck. I'm going to warn you. I warn everybody. This next...
I'll approach every question like a brand new thought, so I'll give my best.
Now, I warn everybody, this one sucks, because I know if I got asked this, I would just be like, I have no clue. But do you have a favorite lyric? It can be one of your own. It can be someone else's. It can be one of each if you have it ready.
Yes. It's from a song by a producer named Drip133, and he has some people featuring on it. And oh man, I probably couldn't even find the lyrics online. The song isn't that big. Yeah, what is I'm trying to remember the phrasing of it. I wonder if I could find it here.
It's a tough question on the spot. That's why I always warn everybody.
Yeah. No, but I definitely have favorite lyrics from this song. Dude has so many releases. It's kind of hard to keep up with it.
While you're talking about lyricist, I really like what Marcus has done on Invent. I've really dug like his writing. some of the stuff he's talked about and done.
Yeah, I haven't read into a ton of their lyrics.
There's one in particular, like, kind of resonated with me. What is it? It's off of Heavener. Elysium. I really like the lyrics, and I think he said it was about like his granddad or something that passed, and like, I guess he said, pretty sure he talked about it on the show, but it's like he didn't write lyrics like after it happened. It was like years down the road, and it just kind of like hit him, and he finally like understood how he felt about the whole situation and like all of it. So that's when it like inspired him to finally write a song about it, which was pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah, he's really awesome. That whole band just blows me away, honestly. All right, I think I found it here. I stop for a second and breathe. I shut my eyes and see what I want to see. The world's too cold for a man like me, and I didn't bring my sweater. Spend my time on the edge of the world, throwing rocks off the ledge. I never hear a sound, still throw like it'll be loud, but silence leads me down. Eventually, you'll see what I mean. Eventually, you'll see what I see, and I just hope I'm around for that.
Okay, sick. Nice.
In context, it's really beautifully presented, in my opinion, especially for something like hip hop, which I find a lot of time can. For me, I'm not huge on like I don't even listen to a lot of metal, honestly. I listen to a lot of like ambient and really like drawn out music. So
okay. Do you have a favorite lyric of your own that you're really proud of?
You know, honestly, all the lyrics in the song From Nothing were probably some of the most personal for me. There's a whole album I've written with a band called Nemerteens that has honestly my favorite lyrics I've ever written in my entire life that we haven't put out, and I don't know if we ever will. But writing that stuff, I hope I can share that someday.
Hell yeah, love it. Okay, so tips for songwriters, like new songwriters, as far as like lyrics, patterns, flow, all that good stuff.
For writing lyrics, I would say do something that you're passionate about, no matter what it is. I mean, if you don't want to write super personal stuff, just write about something that you can represent and express. Because if you don't, then it won't be very fulfilling. As far as like patterns and stuff, again, for me, I was a drummer, so I was always really tuned in on just building things up percussively. I think vocals are very percussive. So a lot of times, especially with modern music, with vocals following the kick drum is a good starting point, I think, because that's really the big driving force, and building around the drums, because the vocals and the drums are like really the focal point of metal. And I think that's probably your best thing, is to just try and build around the patterns of the kick, because that's going to be what's driving the song.
Okay.
And writing lyrics that you care about.
Is that how you write yours, around like the drums, or do you like follow guitar much? Or
no, I mean, because when I write music, pretty much everything follows the drums.
Okay.
Like our whole Willow album, I wrote that by like playing drums, recording it with my phone, bringing that in, and laying the drums out in MIDI. And at that point in time, pretty much everyone had quit the band, so I was literally just me, like, how am I going to make this happen? And just basically obsessed over patterns and getting the guitar as low as I possibly could, because it's like, if I just do open notes and drop F, that's not going to be cool. So it's like just getting really into microtonal things and stuff like that. So yes, for me, vocals is very built around the drums.
Okay, nice. All right, so this next question is fun because as someone, that's recorded a lot of albums and everything, but do you have a favorite part to perform live vocally? And on the flip side, we all know in the studio, we don't always think about, as you've talked about, running around and doing things in a live setting and having to breathe on parts and have breath to do certain parts. You don't always think about like, shit, I have to be able to take a breath before I do this crazy long run. Is there a part that you dread or is a little rough live to do vocally?
There's nothing that I dread, but definitely to what you're saying, like in From Nothing, there's some parts where it's like I'll have to skip words, like little in between words, because I'm like have to put a breath there.
Yeah.
Like, and it'll be like a word like of or and, or just take something like an in between word,
Yeah.
But yeah, I really just love like performing like from nothing. And honestly, we've only performed it once live, but our song Scapegoat, uh, I lose my shit when we play that song, and it's super fun.
Hell yeah. Love it. And we fall into the trap of like, oh, you can just punch that in vocally, and then, later you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I didn't think about that. But yeah. So this next one's fun. Hopefully you'll enjoy this one. I love this question. It's a goofy one, and it's inspired by Adam D of Killswitch Engage and Kyle Medina of Body Snatcher.
Hell yeah.
I love, as soon as I say like either one of those names, pretty much everyone's like, oh yeah, here we go. Like, I already know.
Oh, Kyle's the boy. Yeah, he's the shit, dude.
Kyle is awesome. I was lucky enough to get him on the show, and he's such a great dude. Like,
Yeah,
I'm getting to see them.
To our show, and oh shit, I can't remember what state it was, but he came out and we all went and got some tacos. It was awesome.
I'm going to see them in a couple weeks. They're on the Chapel
Angel
tour.
Maker in Whitechapel.
Yeah, it's a sick lineup. Sick. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, and Disembodied Tyrant.
I think Disembodied's opening. I could be wrong. It's Angel Maker, Body Snatcher, and Chapel. And Chapel's playing the whole album, Hymns of Distance.
The new one.
Yeah, in its entirety.
Yeah, that'll be sick. That'll be super sick.
Yeah, that's a really good album. Shout out to them. That's Tennessee boys. I'm from Tennessee, so that's.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, word. Hell yeah.
So,
dude, I've loved Whitechapel. Like,
same.
Basically, ever since I found Suicide Silence, it was like Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, and then honestly, I found Veil of Maya.
Fantastic band.
Yeah.
Love Veil of Maya.
Dude, Common Man's Collapse. That's another record that totally like shaped.
Yes.
Like everything for me. I love that record.
The like whole breakbeat stuff that was starting to come on with like them, and then Born of Osiris, because I know that's a popular debate who did that first. Wasn't it Veil though? Didn't they technically release before?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure on the dates, but I've got to say I'm hands down. Common Man's Collapse is like one of the greatest metalcore, gent deathcore albums of all time. I think that album's so well written, and so many unique parts, and Brandon's vocals were so sick, and
it's a great album.
That was a time.
All right, well, goofy question. So inspired by Kyle, so you already know how that's going to be because Kyle's Kyle, and he's. But do you have a favorite call out to do or mosh call? And the reason I bring up Kyle and them is because we all have like. There's the normal ones, just let move in, open the pit up, whatever, and there's nothing wrong with those. Those are awesome. But Kyle and them tend to like to throw off the wall shit that you don't expect before like the heaviest breakdown. Like he'll just say something off the wall and you're just like, what? And then, all hell breaks loose. So do you have a favorite call out? And it can be someone else's, it can be yours.
I don't have anything goofy. I usually am just inciting violence.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I usually tell people to put someone to sleep or send someone out of here on a stretcher. Or,
see, that works. That's great.
Yeah, something like that.
But
I want to see that. I want to see that energy.
Yeah. No, it's whatever gets them to get rowdy and get going. Nice.
And I'll also say to that extent, don't ever fucking punch someone in the face that's not trying to be a part of that.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.
That's me. I mean, unless you're at a show where that's just the whole room is, then you got to be ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
read the room.
There's like when we just did this last tour, right? There wasn't a lot of hate moshing, and I like that shit. I love it because like I really do. I used to do it a lot, but now I don't got the shoulders for it anymore. That shit, bro.
We've retired from the pit.
Yeah, if you're at the metalcore show, dude, like maybe not as much, but. Hey, you got to let loose. So
I'm actually stoked to see what the crowd's like. I'm definitely not in the pit. I'm too old. Like I would be busted up for days, bro. There's no way.
Gray hairs everywhere, dude. That ain't me.
But
leave it for the youngins.
I'm excited to see what the pit's like there in Nashville. I'm curious to see.
That'll be it. See, that's a show where you should be going to it expecting hate moshing.
Yeah. Like I'm curious to see how rowdy it gets, especially like once we get near the end of like, well, even Angel Maker and all that, but like, when you get to Body Snatcher and Chapel, like I expect it to be like insane.
Yeah, I loved when we did the tour with Angel Maker because it felt like we even did some off day shows with just us and them, and it was super fun. I felt like it meshed very well.
Hell yeah. I'm stoked for it. Okay. This is a sports inspired question. A little weird.
Hell yeah.
But a lot of times athletes have like superstitions, like they'll have to wear a certain pair of socks, or they'll have to do something before the game or before they go out and play. Do you have anything like that for the studio or for shows? And it can be anything from like just fist bumping the boys, getting ready, push-ups. I've had people talk about they have to have a certain Gatorade to go in there in studio. A shot of Jameson is a very popular one on the show. I hear that a lot. Just all over the place. Anything to get ready. Even not saying don't have a good show or anything about the show being good until you leave the city. I really like that one. That was like super superstitious. I was like, wow, okay.
No, I'm not very superstitious. I just like making sure I got my waters, and man, I don't know. I'm a realist. I guess I just know that shit's on me when I go up there,
Okay.
Or not, my performance is on me.
Yeah.
Like here's something I don't do. It's not really a superstition. It's more of a pattern recognition thing. I do not eat food within like 3 hours of playing.
For like acid reflux or anything like that kind of deal?
I have barfed on stage.
Oh.
Like one too many times, I'll say that. Bro.
That's brutal. No. That's rough.
It sucks, dude. Because, again, you can't stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The show must go on. So you're sitting there with puke in your mouth, running off the side of the stage with it fucking dripping out everywhere. And it's like burning your throat up, because you just had delicious tacos.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it. Eat after you're done or right when you get there. That's
okay.
There we go.
That works. I like it. That's a good one. And I love it because I mean, people wouldn't have to necessarily do any of this to still perform. It's like a placebo effect thing, but it just like, I guess headspace wise, you're like, okay, now I'm good kind of deal.
Yeah, I know I'm not going to barf up tacos tonight.
That's rough. I can only imagine your vocal cords like after that, like how your throat feels after throwing up.
Shot.
Yeah.
Dude, because I love Cholula sauce too, right?
Oh, yeah, you're done for. It's over. Dude. All right. So what are some of the favorite shows you've ever played, or any that stick out, or favorite tours?
I think one of my favorite tours that we ever did was honestly one of the first ones that we did. Within the Ruins, The Contortionist, I think us and another band, and that was with our like OG lineup. So it was like Charles was still in the band, Patty, me. We had Nick. It was Nick's first time touring with us, and he was actually filling in at the time, and then became our permanent drummer after that. And it was just like, dude, we had so much fun, and we were just laughing the whole time. It was all such fresh, new experiences. I've never had that much fun on a tour again after that.
That would be when was that? That was when Tim was in the band, I'm guessing, for Within the Ruins.
When who?
Tim.
Oh yes, yeah, that was I had to have been 2013.
Dude, great dude. I love Tim. He is such a good
Within
dude.
the Ruins?
Yes. I love Within the Ruins.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome, dude. We did a few tours with Within the Ruins, and they're great. All those guys were awesome.
Dude, they were workhorses back then. Those dudes toured nonstop.
Yes. Yeah, they really did. And they were all super fucking nice, too. Yeah.
They were wild. Tim Stories.
Are they still doing stuff?
Yeah. They're not touring like they were. Tim is in a different project now. He's in Blood Throne.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
And Steve is doing vocals now. Another awesome dude. And I think they're doing like little runs here and there, like nothing like they used to. Like it would be, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 day runs, and then fest and different things, just depending.
Sure.
Because Steve and Paulo are in Texas. And then, of course, Joe's up in, like, Massachusetts or whatever. And I don't know where. I guess drummer's up there, too, somewhere.
I was going to say, dude, they just called him drummer all the time. I never actually knew.
I don't think they call him his real name. I don't, like, who is it? I think Tim actually said something. He was like, yeah, no, we still, I forget what his name even is. But he was just like, yeah, we just call him drummer. Like, that's what literally everyone called him.
Yep, that's so funny you said that, dude.
But dude, he said that back in the day that they would write the record on the road because like they would tour, stop touring to go record, and then back on tour. Like they just stayed on the roads constantly.
Yeah, they really did.
But their name gets brought up a lot is like favorite bands to tour with. Like they like as a consensus, I feel like a lot of people just love them in the scene, just hanging out with them and being on the road with them.
Oh yeah, they're super non-stress, like just having a good time, and I mean playing kick-ass music. Like they were ripping ass back,
Dude.
not like farting, but like
Yeah.
fucking, they were just
Joe's
tearing it
insane.
up.
Joe is such a
Yeah,
good
dude.
guitarist. The shit he
Yeah,
writes.
no, and then that like Elite album came out, I think, and
Yeah.
that was just like, damn, like a pinnacle for that band. That was really cool.
Nice. Do you have a favorite place to play? Like venue, state, country, whatever.
I like playing Minnesota because it's our hometown, and a lot of times it's just.
I was
really
gonna
good
ask how the
shows.
scene is there.
It's really great. I'm not as out at shows as I used to be just because I'm old and I live way out of the cities now, so I'm just not in that area. But no, there's always been, even beyond metal music, there's just tons of good music here and musicians and networking and all that stuff. It's really strong here. And other than here, I would say probably, man, we just played, I think it was either Pittsburgh or Philly, and they went crazy hard. And I love Florida. Every time we play in Florida, it's a good time too. So.
Hell yeah. Nice. What kind of advice do you have for musicians wanting to tour? As someone who's toured extensively and done it, because it's not for everybody. That's what I don't. I mean,
no, it's definitely not. I think a lot of people think that they're cut out for touring, and then,
it's not the glory like glamorous thing you would think when you're like, I'm gonna go be a traveling musician, living the rock star life.
No, it's not. I mean, like when we started touring, it was really rough, and the last 2 tours that we've done, we've actually been able to like not struggle bus it the whole time. We've been like staying in hotels, making sure everyone gets showered and fed and doing stuff like that. And even on the last tour we did, we paid everybody like every week. And even that, like some people will come home from that and be like, hey, this was a little too much for me. So yeah, not everyone's cut out for that. And I think you should just really humble your expectations when you tour, because you'll go out on a tour and you'll be in a support band and you'll watch a headlining band be able to tour under completely different circumstances than you, because they're getting bigger guarantees, they are in a larger vehicle, they have crew and all these people to help. And then if you're the type of person that can't see that and realize that's just not where this band is at, or that's not where I'm at, and start getting jealousy or stuff like that, then you got to work for everything and nothing happens overnight. Yep. So I think just being realistic and having realistic expectations, and I think being in the music business in general and being a jealous person is just not a good mix.
Yeah, I agree. Just try to help each other out and, celebrate everybody's victories. I mean,
yeah, that's another thing. If someone you're on tour with is having a bad day, you can't let that like bring your whole camp down, because you're supposed to be a family. So if someone's having a bad day, get all your stuff done, be in the best mood that you can, so that you can try and lift that person up instead of continuing to bring other people down, because everyone's going to have a rough day. Yeah. Everyone's going to have a bad time. Everyone's going to fuck up. Everyone's going to mess something up on stage or this, that, and the other thing. You just got to keep moving. You're on tour. Like if you're throwing up tacos on stage, like you got to keep going, So
the show must go on.
Don't let shit get you down, and just honestly, a positive mentality, as much as you can have it, is goes a long way.
Nice. Hell yeah, that's some great advice. I love it. Sick. So, I'm trying to think what else we can ask. Because we've went through our questions, so now it's just the like speed round spitball bullshit questions. It's pretty much where we're at now.
Hell yeah.
What's next for Reflections? What's going on? What's in the pipe?
We are like.
What can you say? Sorry, I probably should like. What are you allowed to say is going on?
No. Yeah, I mean, I like manage the band. I own the LLC. The only thing that I don't do for the band is act as our booking agent. But even then, I do help like facilitate that stuff a lot of the time.
So you're very hands-on.
Well, dude, I mean, literally, this band got like kind of thrown through the ringer with our label, and we had a lot of stuff happen where we couldn't tour, and then everyone quit, and they were. I fought for 2 years to gain ownership of the band through the label
Shit.
again, and when I did that, we put Willow out, and that was like the beginning of our independent journey. And
You're still independent, right? Like you're not.
yeah, we've had record offers, but it's never been anything that, like, you can front me money and act as distribution, but beyond that, what can you do?
Yeah. So what?
Um,
That's actually, I know we got like are on one thing for reflection. I'll come back to that, but I wanted to like ask that, especially someone who's had dealings with labels. So labels were okay. I trying to figure out how to word this, but like to me, back 10, 15 years ago, distribution, labels, stuff like that were very important because I mean, you got your music out to more places, to more ears.
yep.
Now with like all these different sites like the DistroKids and the what is it, TuneCore, whatever, all that stuff, like
Yep.
distribution is way easier. Maybe not necessarily to the full extent of labels, because physical media is not as like prevalent as it was. So, what are your thoughts on labels now in 2025 compared to when you were starting off?
Well, I think a big thing that's happening now is you're seeing people that are influencers partnering with labels, and then only promoting label bands or only promoting bands that are paying them. So that's kind of a big thing that's happening. So it's a monopoly. Labels are figuring out how to stay relevant by doing that kind of stuff. And that's what kind of makes the metal scene seem so disingenuous to me, because a lot of times it is kind of a paid promotion gig. So to that extent, I think the shift of a record label might be focusing more on giving you ad revenue or something like that, or paid promotion, I should say. Or, we just did a tour with in 2024 where one of the bands bought onto the tour. So labels help you out with that kind of stuff.
Which buying onto a
But
tour is a common thing, right? Like that's something.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know how that works. I don't know if you buy onto the tour and then you get your money back through guarantees. And so it's just like kind of the headlining band doesn't have to worrying about those finances coming out of their pocket. So I don't really know how that works, but I've known, yes, lots of bands buy onto tours. I've really only heard of that with label bands. So again, that might be where that comes from. So depending on your band, where you're at with your band, maybe a label is the right thing for you to do. For a band like Reflections, where we're not going to be touring 6-8 months out of the year, we're not going to put a record out every 18 months. Like, it doesn't really make sense. But if you're out there and you're young and you're super hungry and you want this and you want a tour, you want that life, you're like, you got 5 dudes all writing music together and you're like, fuck yeah, we're going to have an album ready in a year. Are you kidding me? Like, then maybe it is the right thing to do. But actually one of the great quotes that I've seen from a musician, not verbatim, but I think it was from Surge in System of a Down. He said, if you have 25,000 or 40,000 people supporting your music independently, you'll make more doing that than you will being on a label and having 1 million fans.
Yeah.
Now, the validity in that comment, I can't necessarily confirm, but I just think there is something to be said about having your music and your artwork and your craftsmanship in your own hands.
Yeah.
But
you care more
again,
about
it's
it
different for everybody.
than suits and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, for me personally, we only really worked with one label, and it just felt like a lot of the people on the label were very out of touch.
Gotcha.
Because like we were showing them our record for The Color Clear. Like, they came and visited the studio and we're like showing them the record and they're like, oh, we don't like this. We thought you guys were going to sound like Between the Buried and Me. And we're like,
what?
Between the Buried? Have you guys ever listened to us before? like what the? And then they completely just did not support us on that release at all, which kind of was a huge part in why I shouldn't say a huge part. It was a big part in why the band started like reconsidering a lot of things and everyone was thinking about quitting. And because our label literally told us word for word, no one important likes this record.
So is that not detrimental to them, especially if they front money to like make a record and they're like, well, we're just not gonna support it? You think they would still push it to try to recoup, right? Like,
that album recouped in its first week, and then they still didn't. They wouldn't even let us do vinyl. We're like, hey, the album's selling really good. Can we do vinyl? People want vinyl. No, like, wouldn't even talk to us about it. Like, it was just super, super weird, man. And it was just a bad time for us around that time.
Sounds it. And kind of your point about the DIY and doing it yourself, like you're talking about like 40, 50,000, whatever people, like to have that, you're not splitting that revenue with like the streams or anything like that. You're not splitting that with any label or anything. You know, like you said, you're doing it pretty much all yourself minus booking. That all pretty much goes back to the band instead of sharing it with whoever.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you sign those record deals, you don't get any of that streaming revenue, really.
Really? They take it all?
I think on our contract, if I were to go back and look at it, I think we get like 12%, maybe 8% of our streaming revenue, and we get 50-50 of our vinyl sales after recoup. The music was something pretty awful too. I mean, literally your money is made on merch at that point, and they hosted our merch websites back in the day, so we never even really knew. You know, they'd say, here's how much money you made, and it's like, okay. And it's like, now I get reports and everything, and you know, I can actually see numbers, and it's like, because I asked them, they would be sending us bills for what we owed them for the Color Clear, even though by my math and per the contract and everything, the album exceeded the budget in the first week. And at first we were receiving royalty payments, but then when I got us off the label, they started sending us bills. They said we owed $23,000. And I was like, hey, where did all this money, this debt come from? Because we were in the clear. We were getting royalty checks every 6 months from you guys, and now we're off the label, and you're like charging us $23,000. What is that for? And they say it's from the Color Clear. It's from this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, well, I already asked the guy who shot our music video how much that was. We made our own lyric video. We already went over that the album's budget was 10 grand, and I asked Will Putney, and he didn't even do it for that much. He did it for less. So it's like, if you're saying it's on budgeting or like ad revenue, can I see that? Can I see where you spent $23,000 marketing this album that you said you didn't even like, that we haven't seen an ad for anywhere? And you know, they refuse to produce that stuff. And then literally just actually, I think 2 years ago, we had put vinyl out for the Color Clear, and they said that we would make money for that per the contract, but then they didn't pay. So I actually hired a lawyer and threatened to audit our account with them. And then out of nowhere, some dude I've never heard of hits me up. He's like, oh, hey, we have $4,000 for you. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, wow, that's
Shady.
literally what it took. Like, you know, so for me, I'm super turned off to labels and just how shysty they are. But
That's
there
some
could be
shady
labels
shit
out there that are fucking sick and don't function like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't like me. They've never liked me because I've always tried to stand up for myself and just honestly ask for insight on what's happening, and they never liked that. So that's just me though.
Okay. Damn. It's a lot. I've heard like both sides, some labels that have been awesome and the people care, and I've heard I'm not going to say any labels because I don't want to, like, you know.
Right. No.
But I've definitely heard some horror stories from there's a certain labels that pop into mind that, like, I've heard more bad things about than good things as far as, like, how things were handled.
And it's totally a fair, you know, Reflections was never some band that they were raking millions of dollars in off of, you know. So I wasn't trying to ask for special treatment. I just wanted to be cared about remotely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, why did we sign this contract?
That's crazy. Between the Buried and Me blows my mind. I guess you guys didn't get the memo. Like, maybe that email got lost in translation.
Like them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
that's okay. That's a weird comparison, but
right.
Whatever. All right. So Reflections. What's next for Reflections? We got completely derailed on.
We're very close. In fact, I was just talking to our producer today about the stems. I'm almost done. I'm checking the stems right now for our next record to make sure they import correctly. So we have a new record that's going to be out in next year. I'm not sure how we're going to go about releasing that because I'm kind of sick of the singles thing. I know it's really good, but it's a very big record.
Full length,
it's very
I'm guessing?
Long.
Can you say it full length?
It's a full length.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over an hour long.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to roll that out.
Isn't that fun in 2025 figuring out that marketing plan for, like, because it's we talked about what was like attention spans and like everything earlier, but it's so different because back, like, with some of your earlier records, you know, it's what, several singles, full length, tour, rinse, repeat. Now the attention span's not there, so it's like people are doing EPs, people are doing just a shit ton of
Yep.
singles, and then you form them into an album or an EP, and it's a weird.
It is weird because like I can appreciate the singles, but I've always been more of like a long form person. Like I like records. I like records where the songs go into each other. And
Yes.
it sounds like you're listening to a book. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Or like it's just completely immersive, and that's the kind of stuff I look for. Like something I can listen to on a long car ride and just zone out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I feel like with singles, they're great and it's everything, but then when you compile that into an album, the excitement is kind of gone because like I've heard all this already, or at least half of it.
Yeah.
It sucks. And honestly, I'm at the point now where like the Spotify shit, like I don't even care. Like I just want people to be able to hear it in its full context. But yeah, aside from the record, we also have a tour, for sure, one tour next year that I'm very excited about. It'll be later in the year, and that's about all I can say about that right now. It'll be very sick though.
I'm
And
excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Long.
First time
How
I've
long
actually
is
been
the tour? Is
excited
it fairly
for a
long?
tour in a minute.
Is it like a shorter run?
It's a long tour. It's like a month.
Okay.
Which is actually pretty long considering where it is. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's in the States, and
I think it gets announced actually in a couple months here, I think. So.
well, hopefully if it's in the States, it announces Tennessee. I hope. I mean, I know you can't say. I'm not trying to like bait you to say anything. So hopefully I'm just gonna like manifest that, and I'm hoping that it will happen.
Hey, I'm right there praying with you. That'd be sick.
I think you guys. I don't know if you didn't come to Tennessee on this last tour, did you? I know you were in Alabama.
That we did.
I think.
I can't remember, and I don't have the laminate by me. I think we were in Tennessee in 24 on that Veil Angel Maker tour, maybe.
Okay.
I can't remember. It's hard. It gets hard.
I'm sure.
I remember all the days.
Lots of it running together. All right. So I have to preface this with, do you have any tour stories that can see the light of day that you could share that, you know, because I'm sure there's stuff that probably doesn't need to be said or brought up. So is there things you can share, like a fun tour story? I can tell the bad ones are like the things you're like, I probably shouldn't say that, or like running through.
I'm trying to filter through and find like one where I can talk about where no one would get pissed off.
And how many of them involve ruins?
How many of them involve what?
Ruins.
Oh, you know, honestly, I never saw those boys getting into anything too crazy. I wonder if I can like tell these stories with like sensors over them. Back in the day, we had a preference, or someone had a preference of a baked beans, chili beans canned diet for tour. And we were at a gas station one day, and there was an emergency, and they literally had like explosive diarrhea in their pants in our van, and they're I mean, we were all just crying laughing because we didn't know what to do. And so they get out of the van with like their pants around their knees, just shit everywhere. And they're like grabbing the paper towels from the gas station pump to like wipe your windows down, and just like trying to wipe right there. God, I don't think I've ever laughed that hard.
Did they keep eating beans after that?
Yes. Oh, of course, dude. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah. And they were cold too. It never warmed them up. Like cold chili beans. Not just beans, like the hot dog chili with
why?
beans. And I think peanut butter sandwiches. Like just like yeah. Oh man. Dude, we used to have a lot of really good times. I remember one time Charles, I also used to just drink too much at shows sometimes. At one of our first shows with Born of Osiris, Charles, just like they're like in the middle of their set, like, and it's like prime time boo gent, like and Charlie just like runs up on stage in a pair of their like booty shorts, and I don't know, we had such good times. It was fun. Now things are a little more serious just because we're old, and like back then when you toured, everyone was just a kid, so it was like woo, and now it's like shit, like everyone's got shit to worry about when they're home and missing people, and Yeah.
The party never ended on back in the day.
Dude, we did a couple tours with Boo that we did some crazy stuff. Yeah, it was great.
Boo was never a wild band. Never.
No.
They were very
No,
tame.
those guys are awesome though.
Dude, and props to them. I like to talk about like we talked about like bringing people up, in the scene and like you tour with and the bands around you and stuff like that. Staying like positive stuff. I love seeing bands win. Some people, like you said, they'll get bitter or spiteful. They'll just be like, "Ah, fuck that band" or whatever. They don't deserve this. Dude, but like you've seen it, bands put in, dude, lots of sacrifices, lots of hours, lots of grind, and whenever you see them win, it's like, hell yeah, they deserve it. There's a couple like when we were coming up playing. Era's one. They were, dude, they were playing everywhere. Like they just played constantly.
We did a split album release tour with them when they put out. I think it's when they put out Augment, and when we put out Exist. And I would say the best show on that tour had maybe 25 people at it, and the worst show of that tour had maybe 5 people at it.
Wow.
So yeah, seeing what Era has been able to accomplish is amazing. Same with like just Invent and I mean those two bands we toured with a lot. And another one that so check this out. I was just looking at this tour laminate the other day. We did a tour with I Wrestled the Bear once, Oceano, us, and Fit for an Autopsy.
What a lineup.
Right, dude. And on that tour, Courtney from Spirit Box comes up to me and says, "Hey, when you guys are headlining tours, make sure you bring us out." And now they're in Spirit Box.
Yeah. Small band. Spirit Box isn't popular. Nobody knows Spirit. It's not like they were nominated for shit.
I mean, even Fit for an Autopsy, like look what Fit's up to now.
Yeah.
And so like seeing what Mike and Courtney are up to now, because like when they were in Iwabo, like I to be honest, like we were having problems too. I think Iwabo was having kind of a tough time figuring out what they wanted to do and if they could branch out from being kind of like a band that's taken more seriously.
Yeah.
So now to see Mike and Courtney doing Spirit Box is just like, I mean, that's just complete next level. Like you talk about people that you're happy for. It's just, they were always very humble.
Another one for me is Gideon. I remember them starting off and like same thing as Era. Like you would just find them in like venues with like nobody there. Like they were just playing shows. They were grinding. They were touring. They were getting their name out. They were busting their ass. And to see them, 15 years, whatever down the road, doing the stuff they're doing, same Era too. Like I'm like, hell yeah, good for you guys. Like keep going.
Kublai Khan.
Yep.
Like all these bands just crushing. Like I don't know. It's really sick.
Then you always get some of them the sellout comment. I'm just like, dude, you didn't watch these bands like struggle.
To what you were saying, like about Within the Ruins having to write on the road. Can you honestly, like, let's just take Lorna Shore for example. Can you imagine having to try and write a new album being as tour busy as those guys are right now? I couldn't even imagine trying to like do that. So I got to give major props to them for being able to pump music out while they're probably one of the most active metal bands right now.
And that album is great. I actually really love that album. Like the new album they just put out was really good.
One,
yeah,
Black.
It was really good.
Yeah, I thought some of it sounded really sick, and I just Austin's drumming is just nuts to me. Like we played a festival in New Jersey called Eat Your Heart Out with Lorna Shore. God, maybe in 2014. And that was the first time I met them, and Tom was in the band, and they were just so nice. And Austin actually came out to a couple of our other shows, and I went and saw them in Minnesota when they were here. So just being able to watch that dude progress is just so sick.
Dude, and
I wish I had hands like that.
Dude, he's a machine. Like it's insane watching him go. And that's a band Lorna Shore, like I know they blew up, like they skyrocketed and they went viral and like they've just been like crushing it. But those dudes have been around for a while too. They've been grinding before.
Oh yeah, dude. I think they may have even put out their first EP or something before we did.
Knock Loose is another one. Knock Loose, dude, I remember them playing everywhere too.
Yeah, dude. Like, dude, our old photographer loved Knocked Loose. Like I remember we'd be in our van in like I don't remember if it was 2013 or 2014. And he'd be like, "Yo, this shit's fucking sick!" Like, and yeah, watching videos of them again, just playing these super intimate floor shows, you know. And now look at them, like, you know. I mean, it's just really cool seeing the level that all this stuff has been able to get to.
It's crazy, like how popular. Well, I mean, metal's always been popular, but like how more, I guess, accepted it is. Like Knock Loose being on
Yeah,
Kimmel or Spirit Box and like stuff like that. It's like
right.
you're seeing it come out more in the mainstream, and all these people are kind of like, "What is this?" Like, I mean, we've been around, but you know, it's cool to
Yeah,
see it.
it is really crazy. I mean, you know, I want obviously the music is phenomenal. I do wonder if a lot of that has to do with like commercialized mixing too, and just being more. It's a lot easier to listen to metal these days because a lot of it isn't so harsh on the ears, and it's very professionally recorded, and you got drums that are like everything's just sonically so balanced now. I
Yeah,
think that helps a lot too, because like the average person can like take it into context a lot more by just listening to it through their speakers, as opposed to back in the day. Like for me, like when you'd hear something on like a MySpace band or even early gent bands, it'd be like, well, this might sound like shit, but live, bro, this sounds awesome.
yeah,
You know? Now it's
absolutely.
just like you get like this crazy experience hearing a band just sitting at home.
It's crazy how far that stuff has come too. Kind of like talking about back in the day, like the recordings, like you could probably do a lot of times you could do scratch tracks yourself with like the software we had that was accessible for like at home,
Yeah.
but you had to go to a studio pretty much
Oh yeah.
to get an actual like solid
That clean.
sounding
Yep.
product. Now you can do most of it at home, if not all of it for the most part, like
Literally.
with the
Yeah.
dolls and
You just
stuff and the
outsource for your mix
technology.
and master pretty much.
It's crazy. It's crazy how like it's evolved.
And it's almost expected of you to be able to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
What advice do you have for bands in 2025 with how the landscape and the market is now?
Dude, honestly, so I can kind of imagine because I started a new project a couple of years ago, but even then, I kind of have my foot in the door figuratively. Um, I wouldn't know where to tell a new band starting off what to do. To be completely honest with you, if I was a completely new guy opening up social media for the first time and making my first band page and posting my first drum or guitar or vocal videos, I wouldn't have any fucking clue. But what I would say is be yourself, be creative, try and be original, and yeah, do things that are heartfelt. And at the same time, unfortunately, you have to learn how to like do proper marketing, whatever that means for the time era that you're in. Like for me, marketing, I used to spend 10, 12 hours a day messaging people on all different social media platforms like, hey, we're playing a show here, I see you're here, come check it out, here's our EP, you can't even do that anymore.
No.
You get filtered to spam or get your account shut down. So you know, just really focus on trying to be good at what you do and care about it. And god damn, see, that's what I mean. It's like post about it, but if you post too much, you're oversaturating. And
Yeah.
I
But you
guess
also
you
have
just
to try to
gotta,
hit the algorithm, which is like consistent posting. It's tricky.
yeah, dude. I mean, and for me, like honestly, I'll say this. I think this might be more valuable information. Don't let popularity ruin the reason you started doing music or your quest for popularity or recognition. Because like I realized like a couple years ago when Instagram and Facebook and all that shit were paying you a lot of money to do reels and stuff.
Yeah.
I started posting drum videos all the time. And at first it was because I was like excited that I got an EAD10 in my own setup. And then I started getting excited because I was like, oh shit, I'm making money doing this too. And then I started just getting excited about making the money, and I wasn't even really. I was like, I'll just do a blast beat, and you know, and like, cause people like the blast beat videos.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do I like? Do I like the blast beat videos, or do I, you know? And then it's like when they stopped paying as much for them in like 2024, I was like, had this moment where I was like, wait, now I don't care about drumming as much now because I'm not getting paid for it as much, and I'm like, how did they just do that? Like they just completely fucked up my psyche with that, you know?
Yeah.
That, I mean, I think that can unfortunately happen to a lot of musicians where you start making money doing what you're doing and then you start just focusing on that and stop remembering why you started. And
Yeah.
I think maintaining the balance between that is important.
Nice. Oh yeah, good advice. All right, I've taken up a lot of your time, so I got 2 things left for you. First thing is, I just want you to plug anything and everything you want, whatever you want to plug, and promote. The floor is yours. And of course, we'll add it all in the description down below, so everybody can check it out.
All I got to promote or anything is really that we're gonna have a new album coming out next year, and probably some singles rolling out this winter, or a single at least, and a tour announcement this winter as well.
What about your other projects? Do you want to plug them?
I have a project called Surgeon that I have about an hour and a half of demos written for right now that I'll probably finish up after I'm done with Reflections.
Okay.
My Omaya project, for the 5 people that listen to that, I've also been working on some music. So
Sick. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely post links to all that good stuff down below. Promote everything. Where can everybody get Reflections merch? You mentioned you guys do the merch and run everything yourself.
Yeah, we have. If you go to our socials, we have our link tree. We have merch on Merch Now. We have merch on Indie Merch, and Merch Spring. So I think Merch Now is kind of our main one. Indie Merch has some designs. I think most of them are one-sided tees, and then the Merch Spring is kind of unique, coffee mugs and necklaces and stickers and embroidered hats and stuff like that. So
okay, sick. All right. What I like to do to end is I like to give you the floor, and maybe there's a vocalist or someone that wants to become a vocalist or want to pick up the mic. Maybe there's someone that's been doing it for a minute that they could just use extra motivation, or even a veteran that's in a rut or something. What kind of advice can you give to the vocalists out there?
I know a lot of times, at least for me, being a vocalist can be weird sometimes because you're doing something that requires a specific type of energy from you, and you don't always have that in you. Just try and keep the passion alive, because I think, like I had mentioned earlier, when you start letting go and you start allowing so much time to pass, that you can kind of lose that flame for it a little bit. For me, I'm able to reignite that through the lyrics and stuff I do being so personal. But yeah, I think, if you're having a tough time with it or you're feeling discouraged, I mean, this goes to everything, just never give up.
I love it.
There's a time to be real with yourself if something's going on, but if you love doing something and it makes you happy, don't ever stop doing it, as long as it's not to the detriment of somebody else.
Okay. Nice. Love it. I'm gonna hit you with a hard-hitting question to wrap up. Can you give me 3 vocalists that stand out to you? Vocalist frontman that are like
current?
Yeah, or just anyone. Just if you could pick, I don't want to say your Mount Rushmore, you're your top 3, but is there 3 that just stand out, either as frontman, as vocalist, total package, whatever?
I mean, I'll try and keep it modern, just so. I think. I mean, I don't care what people say. I know people got mixed feelings on this. I think Alex Terrible is a completely inhuman sounding vocalist that will be remembered forever. I also think he has a good stage presence. Honestly, Kyle from Body Snatcher, I think being able to be that personable with people is a super cool thing on stage. And not only that, but dude's vocals rip.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I love how friendly Kyle is, and then he gets on stage and he's just fuck everybody.
That's what I mean.
It's so great.
I love that shit. Honestly, I'll go Marcus, because I was super floored by him with Invent. I really was, and I can really only speak to things that I've been able to really hone in on and watch. I was very impressed by him, so I'll say that.
He's a beast. He has done a lot of research and a lot of diving in to figure out how things work and how to maximize what he can do. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. So yeah, you got Slaughter, Snatcher, and Animate. That's my 3 right now.
So new Reflections album. Are you gonna be playing drums and screaming at the same time? Are we gonna unlock that part of your brain where you can do it both?
Unfortunately, the drums are a little too complicated for me. What's that band that does that? God damn. There's some band that has their drummer that does lyrics too, or vocals too. I can never remember their name, but they're so
he's the vocalist for all of it?
I think for a period of time he did both. Yes. And I can't remember. They're kind of a more Circus Survive-ish. I can't remember what they're called. Oh, but
I can't imagine doing that. That's
right, dude. Are you kidding
how.
me?
No, like
And
that's too much going on. How does your
simple either.
brain compartmentalize? Like, I don't know.
That's just being ambidextrous to I can't even. And their music wasn't like simple stuff either. Like he's doing fills and like going all over the kit and like singing, like pitch screaming, singing. Like,
yeah, no,
what, dude? Yeah, whatever that dude's name is, actually put him on my list too. Because if anyone knows who that is, I can't remember what band it is. Someone's gonna hear that and go, I fucking know who that guy is.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. I definitely want to know. I'm curious now.
Yeah.
Hell,
I remember. I'll message you.
All right, yeah, for sure. Well, Jake, dude, thank you so much. Seriously, it has been an absolute pleasure and honor chatting with you. I appreciate your time very much, and dude, it's been a great time.
Yeah, man, this has been fun. So hopefully we come out to Tennessee and can hang.
Dude, hopefully I'm manifesting that. We're documenting it now, and I'm gonna make it happen somehow. I'm throwing it out there in the universe. But dude, thank you so much, seriously, and everybody go check out Reflections and everything down below. Go buy merch, support them, and dude, thank you so much for your time. Seriously, you're the man.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you all so much for watching or listening behind the vocals featuring Jake Wolf of Reflections. Please be sure to check out all the links down below to go show Jake's band Reflections some love. Keep an eye out for new music as well as tour dates, and go check out Jake's other projects. Thank you all so much for watching or listening to this episode. I greatly, greatly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys and gals on the next one.